Good people, what's going on? Episode 44 of the Dome Podcast. So look, in an MC or group's discography, people often talk about their debut album, you know what I'm saying? Or sophomore album, so that debut album can make or break a lot of artists. So in hip hop, you have, Nas Illmatic. That was the standard for his career, right? How important that first album was. you know, Dr. Dre's quote unquote first solo album, The Chronic, the importance of that album, the importance of the first Outkast album, the importance of, Paid in Full for Eric B. and Rakim, or Criminal Minded for BDP. Then people talk about the importance of sophomore albums, after Big D Ready to Die, yeah, Life After Death, his seminal sophomore album, unfortunately his last album, but the importance of that, you know what I'm saying, and the importance of, the Low End Theory for Tribe, the importance of, so many great artists' second album, you know what I'm saying? But what about that third album? You know what I'm saying? Like, how many MCs and groups, and sometimes I'll say just MCs, but you'll get what I'm saying. Within the show, I don't want to say groups every time, but you get what I'm saying. But how many third albums defined a career, took a career to the next level, hurt a career? You know what I'm saying? There's so many scenarios when we're thinking about that third album. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times we don't talk about that. You know what I'm saying? I did a tweet about the third album thing a couple of months ago, and it was a good discussion. So I thought I'd bring it to the video, bring it to the podcast. But so I'll start with my favorite rap group, Tribe Called Quest. Of course, People Instinct Travels, then the Low End Theory, and then for me, my favorite rap album of all time is the Midnight Marauders. Now, I think the Midnight Marauders is Tribe's best album. So I want to talk about a few MCs and stuff, third album as their best album. Then I'll talk about some situations where maybe the third album was when they started to decline or just things of that nature. But for me, Tribe, and people will always debate the Low End Theory and Midnight Marauders. You know what I'm saying? Like, it can go either way depending on who you are or your taste. If you like more of the jazz sound, Q-Tip really dig deep into that jazz bag on the Low End Theory. I just thought that the Midnight Marauders was People Instinctive Travels and Low End Theory kind of all together. So I thought Q-Tip put it all together. I thought they were both better MCs on Midnight Marauders, and I like the production better on Midnight Marauders, even though Low End Theory is crazy. Check the Rhyme and Jazz are two of my favorite Tribe songs, and People Instinctive Travels, Footprints, and The Art of Moving Butts or whatever. And of course, Bonita Remix, my favorite songs from the first one. Of course, the remix is not on the official first release. So you had the situation with Tribe. I feel like they hit their peak at album number 3. Redman, you got What the Album, There's a Dark Side, do you have Muddy Waters? I think most people would say Redman's peak was Muddy Waters, the same way Tribe Called Quest peak was the Midnight Marauders. There's a Dark Side, get a lot of love on social media. I thought it was dope when it came out. Can't Wait, stuff like that. I thought it was dope, but not like Muddy Waters. Muddy Waters is one of those albums that stood up great in 1996. And I'm on record saying that 1996 and 1988, to me, are the two greatest years in hip hop. 1988 being number one, 1996 being number two. Muddy Waters holds up. Another group, Outkast. You got Southern Playalistic, you got ATLians, you got Aquemini. Aquemini to me is their magnum opus. Aquemini is Outkast at their peak, even though Stankonia is their highest rated album, and Speaker Boss Love Below is the highest selling album, I believe, in hip hop history. But Outkast, to me, put Southern Playalistic and ATLians literally together for Aquemini. Every type of style that they displayed on the first two albums, I think they perfected it on Aquemini, and it took them to another level. And I do think that's their peak as far as skill wise MCs. I mean, I know they make other great music, and they might have even been better artists moving up to Stankonia and Speak About Loves Below. They might be better overall artists, but as MCs, I think they peaked at Aquemini. Stand on Groups and 1996. The Roots. You had Organics. You had Do You Want More? And you had Ill or Death Half Life. For some people who might not be up on Organics, it's their first album. It was more underground. A lot of people didn't know about it. But it came out in like 93. Then Do You Want More? I think it was 94, 95-ish. Then, of course, 1996. For me, their opus is Ill or Death Half Life. Some people will give you that tribe debate as far as like Low End Theory and Men Marauders. They'll talk about Ill or Death Half Life and Things Fall Apart. You know what I'm saying? Some people think Things Fall Apart is the Roots' best album. Excuse me. I think that Ill or Death Half Life is their best album. I think Ill or Death Half Life is my favorite album, 1996. I think it's the top 5 album of 1996. I think the production is stellar. I think Black Thought and Malik B lyrically was insane. I just think it's a perfect rap album. I mean, it got 4.5 mics in the source, but and at that time, 1996, 4.5 mics was incredible because that same year it was written, Reasonable Doubt, and several other albums got 4 mics. So, I mean, shout out to the source for really giving the Roots their credit. Could have been 5 mics to me. You know what I'm saying? Another group, and we can still stay in 1996 for the third album. You got Mobb Deep, Hell on Earth. So you had Juvenile Hell, you had the Infamous, you had Hell on Earth. Now, this is debate again. Infamous versus Hell on Earth. Now, in 2023, I actually listened to Hell on Earth more than I listened to Infamous. Both albums dropped when I was in college. Both of them are New York East Coast street classics. I think there's probably more nostalgia with the Infamous because of Shook Ones, Survival of the Fittest and stuff like that. I think they have more popular songs. But I think that Havoc elevated his production on Hell on Earth. He didn't have Q-Tip there to help him anymore. I mean, Q-Tip guided him, you know what I'm saying, and did like 2 or 3 songs on there. I think Havoc hit his production peak on Hell on Earth. And I think Prodigy hit his mic skills peak on Hell on Earth. I mean, as dope as his verses and one-liners and openers were on The Infamous, he was even iller on Hell on Earth. So I'll go so far as I'll debate The Infamous versus Hell on Earth. Right now, like I said, in 2023, I listen to Hell on Earth more for what it's worth. So I'm gonna go with Mobb Deep peaked with their third album, same way Tribe peaked with their third album, the same way the Roots peaked with their third album, the same way a lot of other people that we'll talk about peaked with their third album. Also, looking at, I jotted a few things down as well. I think Scarface's third album was The Diary. Some people debate if The Diary is better than The Fix. A lot of people recently on Twitter, I had some conversations about Scarface albums. A lot of people felt like The Diary was his best album. I like The Fix a little bit better. I just love that Someday. I just love that Song Heaven. I mean, then he got My Block. I just think he gave you everything on The Fix, even the joint with Dub C and them on there. So he gave you some kind of Midwest, West Coast tracks. So they gave the East Coast feel with Guess Who's Back with Jay-Z and Peter Siegel. I think Kanye on the production. Now, The Diary did have like that is it Bird in the Hand or something like that? Not Bird in the Hand, the song with Ice Cube on it, of course, Man Cry, Man Die and stuff like that. I mean, it was deep. You know what I'm saying? Some people think that's that third album. I think that is Scarface's third solo is The Diary. Somebody can fact check me on that. I'll go with the Fix is the best album for Scarface, but many will say that The Diary is his best album. Some people was talking about Eric B. and Rakim, Let the Rhythm Hit Him, but that's definitely, I think that would be probably where they decline would start at. Because you got Paid in Full, Follow the Leader, Let the Rhythm Hit Him, Don't Sweat the Technique. You know what I'm saying? Now, most will say, Paid in Full, Follow the Leader was probably their best album, Eric B. and Rakim. Production-wise and lyrics, Rakim was in the zone on that. I mean, Rakim was always in the zone lyrically. But I would say Let the Rhythm Hit Him, even though it got 5 mics in the source, I definitely thought the Source that was a gimme. They probably should have gave 5 mics. They should have went back and I think they went back and redid, maybe paid them full for 5 mics, but they could have gave Father Lee the 5 mics. I wouldn't have been mad, but Let the Rhythm Heal Him was not 5 mics. You know what I'm saying? Lyrically, it was 5 mics, but as an overall album, it wasn't 5 mics. So I definitely wouldn't say that. Who else? We're talking about Run DMC the other day online and their albums, and we talked about it on Apartment 5B, some what ifs last night on Kill podcast, and I think Raising Hell is their third album because you got Run DMC's self-titled album, you got King of Rock, and you got Raising Hell. Now, Raising Hell would fit this episode because it did take Run DMC to another level. You know what I'm saying? That's one of my Adidas and all that stuff. It pretty much took them with Aerosmith, Walk This Way. It took hip hop to whole nother level commercially. You know what I'm saying? So that would be their magnum opus in terms of success. You know what I'm saying? And what it did for hip hop and opened up a lot for hip hop and branding and, Adidas and stuff like that. Even though I prefer the self-titled and King of Rock over Raising Hell, Raising Hell is the album that catapulted Run DMC and catapulted hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Same way these other people I've named so far, the albums kind of catapulted their careers. You know what I'm saying? Or their fan base. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it wasn't even the best album as far as musically sometimes, but this is about third albums that, well, sometimes could be better, but it also could have took them to another level. We're gonna also get to some third albums that weren't so good. Now I jotted a few things down here. So Volume 2, Hard Knock Life. You had Reasonable Doubt. You had Volume 1. You had Volume 2. Volume 2 is Jay-Z's biggest selling album. 5 Million Sold. He didn't beat that after that. As large as Jay-Z was after Volume 2, Volume 3 went like 3 million. Dynasty, I think, went 2 or 3 million. Blueprint, Black Album, all these albums went, they're multi-platinum albums, but Volume 2 made Jay-Z a superstar. So it fits in this conversation as well as what took Jay-Z over the top, what probably put him as the number one MC at the time outside of DMX, because DMX and Jay-Z kind of split 1998. Now, some people say DMX still ran 98 because It's Dark and Hell Inside came out in the spring and Flesh My Flesh came out in the fall. And so you got 2 big multi-platinum number 1 albums in the same year, and Jay-Z had 1. You know what I'm saying? But they co-headlined in 1999 Hard Knock Life 2. I was there. It was dope. And they came to Greensboro, North Carolina when I was living in Greensboro. For people that know me, I went to UNCG and took class at A&T. Back then, I just graduated and stuff like that then, though. I got out of school in 98. But Jay-Z, if it ain't DMX, it was Jay-Z. So he's fighting for the King of Hip Hop and King of New York for Volume 2. So that's when he elevated. You know what I'm saying? So that works for Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying? Now, De La Soul, I think that Balloon Mind State was a slip to them after 3 Feet High and Rising and De La Soul is Dead. I kind of felt like Balloon Mind State. I did like some tracks on Balloon Mind State. I loved I Am I Be. I loved Break of Dawn. And I loved a couple other songs on there. But I thought they dipped on album 3 and then came back strong on album 4 with Stakes Is High, of course. You know what I'm saying? And Stakes Is High is my favorite De La Soul album. You know what I'm saying? It's the best one to me. But obviously, I think more purists would say 3 Feet High and Rising is De La Soul's best album. 3 Feet High and Rising kind of opened up a lot of skits in hip hop and took it to another level. I think Prince Paul on production and, straight from Stetsasonics. That was huge, man. You know what I'm saying? But I would say that they took a little dip right there and then came back with Stakes Is High. You know what I'm saying? What else I got here? Oh, also, Tupac, to me, you got Tupacalypse Now, Strictly For My Niggas, and then Me Against the World. I think Me Against the World is Tupac's best album. I think that's when he put everything together from the first 2 albums. You got some consciousness on there. You got some hardcore joints on there. You got like Lord Knows on there, but you got If I Die Tonight. You got a Death Around the Corner. You got Young Niggas. You got Outlaws at the end of the joints. And you got Dear Mama. I just think that we talking about an overall hip hop album. Tupac gave you everything on Me Against the World. I know people love Machiavelli. I know people love All Eyes on Me. And I did on an early episode last year, I did Me Against the World versus Machiavelli, and I had Me Against the World beating Machiavelli in like a versus track for track. And then I think I posted a poll on Twitter several months ago, and Me Against the World won. Now All Eyes on Me, shit, this one on All Eyes on Me is classic to me. This two is dope. You can take about three songs off this two, and maybe the last song of this one, and All Eyes on Me is stellar. But I would just say as a compact body of work, Pac hit his apex at On Me Against the World, man. I just really think he does, man. What else I got right here, man? Let's see. Oh, interesting one is Common after Cannonball Dollar and Resurrection. He had One Day It All Makes Sense. You know what I'm saying? Some people think One Day It All Makes Sense is Common's best album. Now, I won't say it's his best album, but I think it's the album where, even though people respected him on Resurrection, and I Used to Love is one of the best songs of hip hop history, I think that One Day It All Makes Sense is when it came together. He had that Retrospect of Life with Lauryn Hill. He had the joint with CeeLo Green. He had the joint with Cannabis on there. He had that Reminded Me of Self. Man, I mean, you could say, I wouldn't be mad at somebody to think this. So I do think that's where people look at Common different on One Day It All Makes Sense. Then, of course, like Water for Chocolate, he dipped again in B. You know what I'm saying? I do think B is, because of the Kanye love and because it's compact with only like 10 songs. I don't want to say B overrated because I think B has a classic feel to it. But I definitely think that as an overall body of work, I'll take One Day It All Makes Sense and like Water for Chocolate, but B probably. You know what I'm saying? So I think, like I said, what One Day It All Makes Sense is when, and shout out to Common because his book, One Day It All Makes Sense, is an amazing book. Came out probably 10, 15 years ago. Great book. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so I was saying about Common, man. So you see how important these third albums are in these people's career. You know what I'm saying? Because some people dip with their third album, and some people elevate with their third album, man. I don't think that's talked about enough. You know what I'm saying? What else I got? I jotted a few things down. Oh, what about Eminem? You got Infinite. I know people, some of y'all do not want to use Infinite as his debut album. We've already debunked that. It's the people saying it's not, it is. So you got Infamous. Infinite. You got the Slim Shady LP. We ain't talking about the Slim Shady EP. And then you got Marshall Mathers. So again, as big as the Slim Shady LP is, and millions and millions of records sold, he on MTV and all that, and it showed he had skills, but you didn't know if he was still kind of a gimmick for some people, even though hip-hop purists knew about him from Battling and from Infinite, where he sounded like AZ and Nas and Tretch and Pharoah Monch. He sounded like a little bit of Redman, combination of all of them. You know what I'm saying? So he definitely studied the game. Marshall Mathers as magnum opus. He put everything together on Marshall Mathers LP, his third LP. And of course, Stan is brilliant, one of the greatest rap songs ever. The set off track, jump off track, Kill You was crazy. So yeah, Eminem definitely did that, man. Kanye West. I think about College Dropout, Late Registration, Graduation. This is a good debate right here. I felt like with Graduation, Kanye was finally a respected MC in terms of, I know he had people he worked with, wrote with, people writing stuff for him, stuff. But as far as like his presentation on the mic, I felt like he was so comfortable on Graduation. It was perfect for me. You know what I'm saying? Now, you can debate if it's better than College Dropout or Late Registration or even More Dark Twisted Fantasy. But I felt like Graduation was a peak Kanye. That's the album where he defeated 50 Cent Curtis. They had that promotion. It was pretty dope. It was good for hip hop. But Kanye on Graduation, to me, that's when I was like, man, you know what? He's out of there. So let me preface this. Third album doesn't always have to be the best, but it means it did something special for that person's career, maybe too. Like I said a few minutes ago, and I feel like Kanye's Graduation was like, okay, he did it one time, two times. Oh, he did this third time. He's out of here, man. Like, you know, there's no stopping Kanye at this point. You know, when I heard Graduation, I was like, oh man, wait till I get my money right. I was like, wow. Then he had I Wonder on there, man, flashing lights. I was like, this dude can't be stopped, man. Right now, he's he's on one. I did think by graduation. I was like, if it keeps going like this, he's gonna definitely be on his way to one of the greatest runs in hip hop history and one of the greatest discographies in hip hop history. And I do believe that he achieved that. I think that Kanye has one of the top 5 discographies in rap history. And I think by the time he got the graduation for me, that's when I knew it was going there. Think about Kendrick Lamar for a second. You got Section 80, Good Kid, Mad City, To Pimp a Butterfly. To Pimp a Butterfly was him at his artistic peak. You know what I'm saying? For that purpose, and I do think Good Kid, Mad City is his best album. But his peak to me is an overall, just not just the MC, but an artist. You know, tracks like How Much a Dollar Costs. I mean, oh my God, man! Like Complexion. Excuse me. Yeah, he brought it all together, and I want to say that he won some awards for To Pimp a Butterfly, but it was reminiscent of It Takes a Nation a Million and the Death Certificate and some of those kind of albums, some of the content, man. Like he did something special to Pimp a Butterfly. Some people think that it's his greatest album. Some people think To Pimp a Butterfly is a top 20 hip hop album of all time. But I'll personally take Good Kid, Mad City. But I would be dishonest if I didn't say To Pimp a Butterfly's importance wasn't off the meter. Is Riding Dirty UGK's third best album? You know what I'm saying? I think some people say it's the third one. I don't know if it's the third album, but it's dope. You know what I'm saying? It's Heavy D Blue Funk, his third album. I was looking at a few right here. But again, those are the importance of that third album, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, what about who dipped on their third album? You know what I'm saying? Like that can be a discussion as well, as far as like, did anyone get to their third album and you say, maybe they start falling off or something complicated happened at album 3? Well, I'll use Nas for a second. Everyone knows that after Illmatic and It Was Written, I Am came. I Am got 4.5 mics in the Source magazine. But I'm using I Am right now because something bad happened during that time, right? Napster happens, right? LimeWire, all these pirate team, music. And Nas is one of the first rappers to get hit with that, with a major project, major release. So I Am, and just recently on Black Friday, they released kind of like that one of the original leaks of 13 songs. This is the one that had Hardest Thing to Do is Stay Alive and Fetus and all that stuff like that on there. But I had that in 1999. Anyway, so we talking about a double CD. Pocket done it, Big had done it. It was Nas' turn. They were both gone. This is him taking things to the next level. The year before that, you got Jay-Z and DMX killing it. I think the original I Am drops. Hip hop is different. Hip hop changes. So that's a big significant album 3, what I'm saying. Because you can surmise that if the original I Am drops, the double CD, there is no Nostradamus. There's no so-called dip in Nas' career at that point, even though Nostradamus did sell 1 million records and had a song, You Owe Me, that's still playing the clubs. But critically, it wasn't acclaimed. So, but I think that the original I Am double CD drops. Nas grabs that crown again real quick. Him, Jay-Z still might battle for that crown, but I don't think you get a Takeover. You don't get an Ether. I don't think you get a Stillmatic. He's probably called something else because I don't think Nas and Jay-Z battle actually takes off. You know what I'm saying? I don't think so. And if they do end up battling, that one hot album every 10-year average shit would have never been said. So that was one of the big punchlines in the Takeover. That doesn't happen. That's not said. You know what I'm saying? That one, he's talking about It Was Written. Well, Jay-Z loved It Was Written. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, everybody secretly loved it. You know what I'm saying? So, but the significance is that third album was monstrous. You know what I'm saying? The unreleased version. But it put I don't want to say a stain because the I Am that was released still was a good album. But it's kind of like what could have been. You know what I'm saying? What could have happened with that? What about NWA? Never got a chance to do a third album. You know what I'm saying? So, DLC couldn't do a third album. unfortunate. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about Rick Ross. You know what I'm saying? His third album. So he had Port of Miami. He had Deeper Than Rap or Teflon Don. I don't know which one. Which one came out first? Um, that's something I want to check out and look at. You know what I'm saying? Like, did Rick Ross, uh, Teflon Don come out before Deeper Than Rap? I don't quite remember off the top of my head right now. I'll come back. I might have to come back to that. But either way, both of them was dope. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, some people didn't make it to a third album, man. Biggie didn't make it to a third album, man. You know what I'm saying? Very unfortunate. Somebody like Big L wasn't able to have a third album. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are things that really hurt, man. You know what I'm saying? Because third albums, man, like I said, it launched people. You know what I'm saying? It launched careers, man. I'm gonna tell you guys real quick because I'm determined right now. I want to see. So Deeper Than Rap. So you had Port of Miami, Triller, Deeper Than Rap. Some people think Deeper Than Rap is Rick Ross' best album. It's my favorite Rick Ross album. It's the one I thought that, okay, he's gonna be around for a minute. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, first two albums good. This one is great, even though some people can debate Teflon Don and Deeper Than Rap. You know what I'm saying? I won't debate those. You know what I'm saying? But for me, I think that Deeper Than Rap is his best album. You know what I'm saying? What's some other ones, man? I'm just thinking right now. Jotting some more down, man. Let's see. What about Nah, I ain't gonna go there with that one. So anyway, man, Cameron, as you hear him in the background, you had SDE came out second. You had Come Home. Come Home was it his third album? So you can say that too because you had Confessions of Fire, SDE, Come Home With Me. Come Home With Me was the one that took Cameron to another level. You know what I'm saying? Rockefeller had the big old boy on there. He had the big singles. He had a Jay-Z feature on Welcome to New York City. You know what I'm saying? Like you had some of that, man. You know what I'm saying? So Cameron has another one where the fact that he had so much success with that, you know what I'm saying? The Dipset got a chance to keep growing as well. You know what I'm saying? Which was huge. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's kind of what it is, man. What about Cannabis third album? Razzcast, man, Method Man. You know, some of these guys, what do you guys think about some of their albums, man, that they kept doing? Because some of them had a lot of to be desired, man, left to be desired, and some of them didn't pop off the way we thought it was gonna pop off. Um, What about 50 Cent, man? Yeah, Get Rich, The Massacre, Kurt. I think his situation is one of the ones where the dip happened. For 50 Cent, his third album was a dip then. You know what I'm saying? Because you got the Get Rich or Die Trying, you got the Massacre, you know what I'm saying? Then you got Curtis would have been where he never reached that level again in terms of I think the quality, because the Massacre got a lot of great songs on there. You know, so I think it gets harshly criticized, which is unfortunate. You know what I'm saying? I think it gets criticized way too much. You know what I'm saying? But those are some ones, man. Just think about some third albums, man, and not to hold you, man. So yeah, episode 44, man. Any other dope third albums, man? Put in the comment section, man. Peace.